if they keep bringing up all the reasons why the relationship ended or why the two of you aren't a good fit for one another, it can really mean two different things. Now, I mean, obviously, it could mean that they're still upset about the past. Maybe the breakup happened recently or relatively recently, and they're, still venting about all of their hurt feelings, all of their disappointments, all of their problems that they had. And they're just kind of unloading on you. That's obviously one possible reason for it. The other is that the two of you might actually be connecting pretty well, or maybe they're missing what the two of you had a little bit, and they're instead trying to justify why they are where they are right now, which is broken up. They maybe recognize that the two of you had some good experiences and that there are some positive things between the two of you. And they're afraid of what that means. They're afraid that it's moving them closer towards a difficult decision about what they're going to do about all of these positive feelings they're feeling. Does that mean they're going to get back together with you? Does that mean they were wrong to break up with you? Does that mean they need to move things around? Does that mean they need to end a rebound relationship or tell their friends and family that the two of you are back together again, or things like that? And that's not always an easy choice to make, either because it involves, real, practical, hard things to do, like uncomfortable conversations when you break up with a rebound, for example, or when you tell all your friends and family that you're seeing each other again, after they spent, months or weeks talking about, oh, I'm so glad you broke up with so-and-so. I never liked the two of you anyway. He always seemed like a jerk, or she always seemed horrible, or whatever. But it could also mean internal things as well, too. Like opening yourself up to trust again, opening yourself up to, perhaps admit that things are maybe better when the two of you are together. And that can be hard. Because in a lot of ways, this whole process of working things out after a breakup, I mean, it can be a difficult experience for them. They had this thought, this opinion that this relationship isn't working out. There's no way it can work out. I'm better off just cutting my losses and leaving and, doing whatever else I might do, being in a relationship with somebody else, just being single for a while, whatever. And to go from that to thinking, hey, maybe I was wrong, let's get back together again, that takes a lot of energy. If you ever took a physics class like I did in high school, that when something is going to turn around, it has to slow down, eventually come to a stop, and then start accelerating in the opposite direction. In order for that to happen, there needs to be, a meaningful force applied. And so what this means in a interpersonal sense is that if they are having this experience, it means you are applying that force to some degree. They're experiencing that, hey, this relationship that I thought was hopeless, maybe it's not. This connection I thought was going nowhere, maybe it could go somewhere. And what it means is that on one hand, you are doing something right. Now, when you start getting this feedback, you might freak out and say, okay, maybe this is not working. But actually it is. And what you want to do is you want to continue to do this. You want to continue to offer this force that says, yeah, we connect well with one another. We're having a good time with one another. This is a good experience. That's not necessarily going to be easy because you're getting this negative pushback from them. But you have to remember that this pushback is from them resisting the change. It's not like they don't like the way that the two of you are connecting. It's just that the way that it's going, what it's asking of them, is something that's going to put them out of their comfort zone. And so they're trying to put some space between themselves and that ultimate choice. Now, you ultimately want this choice to be theirs. You want them to choose to be back together with you. This can't be something that you convince them or coerce them into or something like that. You want them to come to this conclusion on their own, because if it's a choice that they make on their own, they're going to be, more likely to take ownership of it and feel good about it and follow through on it and defend it and all that sort of stuff. Depending on where all of this is coming from, you want to acknowledge their concern, and then you want to pull them back into the present moment. You want to pull them back into the present moment because obviously that's what is feeling good for them, and their mind just drifted off into the past or into the future. The past saying, hey, this didn't work in the past. We argued all the time. We're probably going to argue again. You never respected me. I never got my needs met, whatever. Or into the future, hey, where is this going? What is this going to ask of me? What are people going to say? What are people going to think? What am I going to have to do? Do your best to pull them back into the present moment. So one way to do that can be to just acknowledge what their concern is. Yeah, you're right. Our relationship did have a lot of problems. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Because when you admit to something, when you agree with something that they're saying, then what you're doing is you're taking away the power that objection has in their mind. They don't have to take this defensive stance to justify it anymore because, hey, the two of you are in agreement. And so they can just let it go. And then on the other side of that, they can just connect with you. Because, how defensive do you have to be if you say something and then the person you're talking to says, yeah, you're right. You don't have to be very defensive at all. You can just roll with it, to be honest. And it's good for helping people to drop their guard. And, honestly, there probably were issues in your relationship if you're being honest about it. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to say, oh, well, yeah, that was the past. I'm so much better now. Or that's not true. What actually happened was that I did this. You just misunderstood it. Like, those are just going to put them on the defense. If you just agree with them, it's very disarming to the whole situation. And that's really what you want to do, because then that lets you get back into this place where you can continue to build the connection, continue to apply that force that's going to change the trajectory of all of this. So if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Drop a comment. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know what objection your ex has said about your relationship. Just drop a comment down below. And then go ahead and check out this video right over here, where I let you know the overall strategy that I recommend to most of our clients when it comes to getting back together that does not involve the no contact rule, reverse psychology, or any of that nonsense. Anyway, take care, and I'll talk to you next time.